Hi guys, today I'm going to take you through a tutorial on how to use Boardmaker Online to create some communication supports for your clients. So first of all, we're just going to look up Boardmaker Canada, and you want to specifically find Boardmaker Canada. If you go to the American site, our login credentials will not work. So we're at the site now. We're going to go up to this top right hand corner and click Login. And we're going to put in the email and password associated with the Garth Homer account. So ours is under Jeff's email, and we'll post the login email and password on the website. So go ahead and type that in. This is the login that is for all of Garth Homer. So anybody in the building can use this to create their programs. Okay, so we are on the main site here. We're going to click into My Boardmaker. This is kind of where we live when we're creating on here. All right, so it's going to show us My Activities. So this whole list along the side here are all activities that we've created within this Garth Homer account already. So as you can see, we've already done 117, so we have been busy, which is great. Okay, so what I want to teach you today is how to create a new activity. So we're going to click Create Activity, and they do have quite a few kind of templates down the side here for various activities, but for creating basic pick symbols and little cards like we often use with our clients in Garth Homer, it's easiest just to open up a new blank activity. So we're going to open that up. Again, it takes a little second here for this program to open, so we're just going to wait through that. It will also require that you have Flash on your computer, so you may have to install Flash or click Allow Flash to run. Okay, so now our program is open. So the main buttons that we're going to use here are this one for moving things around, this one for creating buttons, and this one for, it's called the spray tool. It's for copying buttons, really. So to begin, we're going to create a button. So I'm going to draw a nice square. That's the easiest shape to use, I think, when you're creating these. And I'm going to bring it right up to the corner so I can get a nice measurement. So that looks about right. I want this to be 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Again, when you're creating these, you can make them kind of whatever size is going to work well for your client. If they have poor vision, I suggest doing bigger pecs. If that's not much of an issue, 1.5 to 2 inches is a great size. So we're going to now pull that down. Oh, I also want to mention, if you are creating additional pics for a client that already has a system in place, try to create your new icons the same size as the existing icons. Consistency throughout their communication system is really important. So you don't want to have, some small icons, some big ones, some rectangle ones, some square ones. Try to make it consistent. Okay, perfect. So we've got this. Now I'm going to pull this down here and show you how the spray tool works. So if I click this guy and hold your click down and drag, it's going to duplicate these and just spread them across the page. So that's great. So this spray setting, sprayed it with this nice little gap in between. You can see that there. This is really great if you're creating a page that's going to store your icons. So if I was going to create a bunch of icons and have them Velcroed on, this is a great way to do your storage page. If you're creating your icons to be cut out right away, it's really nice to make them with no gap in between, so you can just cut along one line. So I'm going to undo this and show you how to change that spray setting. So we'll go under File and User Settings. And we're going to change our spray spacing. So right now I have it at 0.1 and I'm just going to change it to 0. We're going to submit that. And now when I go to spray, there will be no space between them. So that'll make it a lot easier when I print these and laminate them and cut them out. It's just really nice and easy to cut along those lines. So I'll just leave it like this for demonstration's sake. If I want to move where these are oriented, click and hold, drag across all of them so they're highlighted, and then you can move them all as a unit. Okay, if you just click on one, it will just move the one. All right. So let's say that we are going to make some icons for feelings. So to start doing that, you want to go over to symbols, and this is going to allow you to search the entire Boardmaker database of symbols. So I'm going to type in happy, and it's going to pull everything up that it's got in its system. So it's got several different types of icons, these two characters here, or it's got these little bald guys. So we like to try to use, again, something that is kind of consistent for clients. So if in somebody's system they already have icons that show happy as this particular character, try to keep it as the same one because they have learned that that character means that word. All right, so you really don't want to be putting a bunch of different symbols for the same word throughout their system. So in general, at Garth Homer, we use a lot of these little bald guys. That is what Kaya has used in the supports that they have provided to clients in the building. So when I make them, I like to use the same things in general. All right, so you pull it over, you drop it, and it goes right into your button. Now, if I want to change the way that word is appearing, I go into properties. So this will allow you to customize your button. You can change where the label is showing up. So right now I have bottom center. You can have it at bottom top. Again, consistency. If it's an already existing system and all the words are at the top, make the new ones at the top. I tend to make mine on the bottom, but it doesn't really matter. And then you can also adjust the font, the size. Sometimes I'll make this 18. So keep in mind, when you are adjusting here, you're adjusting only for this single cell here. Okay, so now I've changed this font to 18, but when I create all of these buttons, they'll still create at the default setting. So if I want to make a change that will affect everything, so I don't have to change each one of these individually, you can just go ahead. I'm going to undo that change there so I can do it all together. I'm going to highlight all of these. Again, I'm clicking with my mouse, I'm holding and I'm dragging it across. These are all selecting. Now I'm going to go to properties, down to my label, change that to 18, and now it is changed in this cell, but will have also changed in all of these other cells, so I won't have to do that each time. So let's go and find a symbol for our next cell. Let's say sad. All right, so again, you scroll, find the symbol that you'd like to use. This is most commonly used in Garth Homer, so I'm going to use this one again, put that in, and that has also come up as 18. So another thing that you can do on here is to do what they call a web search. So here you see symbols, my media, and web search. So a web search basically allows you to do a Google search of a sorts right within Boardmaker. So if you're looking for a picture that they don't have in their own system, or you don't have a picture on your computer, type it in as a web search. So for example, if our client does volunteer work at the Our Place Society, we can easily pop that in here and find something that will work. Oops, that is not how you spell place. Our Place. All right, so As you can see, it found a symbol for our place, which is great. So keep in mind, not everything will show up in a search, but it's pretty good about finding most things. So let's put in our place. And then we're going to go to properties, and let's say we don't want it to just say our place. We want it to say our place volunteering. So let's just change that. So now it will show that client that that logo represents our place volunteering. All right, perfect. So the other thing over here that you might have noticed is the My Media section. So this section is all of the items that you have uploaded to the Boardmaker program. So if you have pictures on your computer that you want to put in here, you can upload them into My Media. So this is great if you're putting in pictures of staff or pictures of the client. So for that, we're going to exit out of this section. Make sure to just minimize though, or if you're exiting, save. Always save. These do not save by default, and I have learned that many times the hard way. So minimize that. So now we're back into my Boardmaker section. We're going to go over here to My Media. All right. So down the side here, again, are all things that have already been uploaded to this media section for the Garth Homer program, but we're going to upload a new one today. So click Upload, choose File, and then go to wherever that section is saved. So we are just going to pick a random picture here. Click this books picture that was saved on my computer. Upload it. Click OK, and there you go. So now, if I go back into our window and search in My Media Books, that exact image should be there. And there it is. So we're going to put that right in. Brilliant. So that really is the basics of how to create all of these icons. You can just keep going. You can add another page if you click this side window. So you can click down here. Actually, if you just want to add a blank page, you just click this button. However, a really easy way to do it is if you have already created a template here, you can just duplicate it. So you copy it and then paste, and it's going to copy that exact same page. So that's going to ensure that you've got that exact same format, and it keeps it really easy. Honestly, the best time to do that is before you start adding all of your images, so that you don't have to kind of go through and delete, but it's really easy to add new ones over top. So let's just try doing that. So this is page 2. We want to change what these ones are. You're just going to put them right over top. So let's look up symbols. Let's say this page is clothing. All right, you just drag it right over top. It's going to ask you if you want to add to it or replace, and we want to just replace it. And there you go. Perfect. So another little trick is if you would like to add something, that's easy enough to do. So you can kind of customize what that icon is. So let's say, okay, we're going to look up music. Okay, so we're going to put in music, but in particular, this icon, we really want it to have it about drums. Okay, so this is not just music, this is drum music. Let's pretend. So we're going to add a picture of a drum to this one. Okay, so if I drag this over top, it's going to ask me if I want to replace it or add to, and we want to add to. Okay, so now you can go in and you can move them around. So I can make that little music guy a little bit smaller, put him up in the corner, and really customize what this icon looks like. Might take a little bit of playing around, but that's a really good way to kind of create your own icon there. Another way to edit your icon is if you really want to change things around, you can click on your button, go up to Edit, and click Edit in Symbol Editor. And this is going to allow, oh well, just kidding, let's try a different one. It didn't like that online picture. Let's edit this sad face. No, let's edit this clothing. Because we want to make this clothing look like something that's meaningful to our client. Okay, so let's go edit. We'll edit in Symbol Editor. All right, and let's say this client never ever wears khaki pants. Okay, they only wear green pants. So we want this to be something that's meaningful to them. So we might want to change the color of this to green. So we could go in, let's say they like this color of green pants. And we'll just go, it's just like using a paint program. You can just go ahead and color it all. Ooh, let's not do that. And just color it all in. And then you can either save it to your media, so that's a picture that's there that you can come back to again, or if you just need it this one time, save it to your activity. And it should change color there. Perfect. So there you have it. Now, if you are making a storage page, it's nice to have them labeled so people know where to put the icons back. So let's create a new storage page. Okay, so let's pretend all of these icons are full. We've got 2 pages of icons that are totally full, and we want to make a storage page for them. I'm going to create a new blank page, and I'm going to create a new button. Okay, so I know that my icons are 1.5 inches, and I want my storage buttons to be ever so slightly bigger, just so my my icons are not hanging off the side. So let's make this just a little over 1.5 inches each. We're going to pull that down, and I'm going to change that spray tool so that I have a little gap in between them. Again, just so storage is kept neat and tidy. So let's change this back to 0.1. I'm going to submit that, and I'm going to get my spray tool. Whoops. And I'm going to spray it around here. Oh, hang on. My spray setting didn't save it. Let's try that again. Open this up. I changed the print margin, that's why. Oops. So let's change the spray to 0.1. We'll submit, and now it should have that nice little gap in between. Okay, so again, you want to make sure that you're keeping it on the page. So as you can see right now, that one side would be off, so you just have to keep it down a little. And when they're all highlighted like this, I can move them as a unit. Now, to demonstrate here, I also want to show you with a label at the top. So I'm going to take out this top row, so I'll have enough room to put a label. And I'm going to create a nice label for this. So we'll make a nice big button here, and I'll go into Properties and create a label. So let's say this one is going to be Feelings. We'll write Feelings, and then I'll go down and change the font size to a nice big size here. Let's go up to 48. And then if you want to get fancy, change the fill. It's another nice way to help coordinate and organize your pages for storage. Clients, especially clients who can't necessarily read, color coordinating will just help everyone to understand what goes on what page. So you could change the fill, you can get fancy, change the border, and make that border nice and thick, Make that a nice dark blue. And there you go. Now, if you do not want to store your icons in this landscape orientation, just go ahead and go into your user settings again, and we'll switch it into portrait. Switch that into portrait right there and submit. Nope, that did not work. Let's try that again. User settings. Page setup. That's a better one. Let's do that. Let's go portrait. All right, perfect. So there you go. Now you see that that's changed. But of course now our button is too big, so we're going to reorient that. And we're going to have to edit our thing. So I deleted that one side. I'm going to spray tool and just add another row at the bottom. Okay, and then again, let's get that centered. And there you have it. If you want to keep color coordinating, if you want everything on the feeling page to be blue, I'd suggest going in and just changing the outlines on the storage cells as well. So you can just go in, change that border to blue as well, and then on the other pages, keep those color coordinated. But that's really the basics that will get you going for rolling on creating pics for your clients. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to email me, jthorndale@garthhomersociety.org. And yeah, happy creating.